Draymond making news off the court. We talked about these comments yesterday, and now he's been fined $25,000 for his public criticism of officials. These all stem from when he told The Athletic Saturday there should be a whole new crop of refs because personal issues, he said, are too involved with this current crop. Scotty, what do you think? You've been out there on the floor.
Wow. You know what? I played with Rasheed Wallace. I played with Dennis Rodman. And I'm having a great opportunity to watch Draymond. The officials are going to always be there, and they're the ones that keep the game in control. So, Draymond, you can't change the officiating, brother. Save your money.
Well, it's funny you mentioned Dennis Rodman. Just today, this was today, he tweeted this out, captioned this. I'm sure, Scotty, you could personally caption that, considering you heard a lot of those conversations with officials up close. Draymond's point was, hey, it's getting too personal. You've had Draymond's teammates say, hey, we got to keep an eye on him a little bit and pull him back. How did you guys on the Bulls kind of, I can see you in that clip, actually, physically pull him back?
There's some nights when you let him go, and there's some nights you have to pull him down to the floor and try to keep him in the game. There's those important nights when you're playing against the best team, and then there's nights when you're playing against the crappy team. And some of those crappy teams, guys like Dennis, they like to try to go out and get 20 or 30 rebounds, but they have to use the officials to bring that attention to them. So you kind of got to let them play it out at times. But in this situation with Draymond, I mean, he's going at the officials a lot. I mean, you're the best team in the league. Do you really need to go at the officiate?
I mean, don't you think that this is how the Warriors probably deal with Draymond? Don't you think that's exactly the same way, considering Steve Kerr was a teammate of yours?
Wow. He was actually a teammate with both Rasheed and
I was
Dennis.
going to say.
So
he's seen a lot of this.
I think it's probably the same thing. And one thing I'll say about the NBA, because they slap them the $25K fine. The NBA backs up their employees, whether they're right or wrong. Maybe some of the Laker players could back up some of their employees.
Wow. We will get to that. I thought it was interesting, though, to stay on this topic. Carmelo Anthony was talking about the situation, and he was actually talking about how it's changed over time. And, Scott, I want to get your take on this after we hear from him. Take a listen.
The game changed a lot since I came in 15 years ago. The players and the officials had that dialogue, whether it was good or whether it was bad. It was always a point where, they would let you, get a little steam off, and then it come to you and say, okay, that's enough, and let's move on. And now the triggers is too quick. You look at somebody wrong, you get a technical foul. You say one wrong thing, you get a technical foul.
So do you think it's actually changed, Scotty, or do you think it's like back in my day? I mean, what do you?
I think it's changed a little bit. I think there's a lot of scrutiny in the game right now. Everything is on social media, so the officials have a lot of pressure on them because everything is magnified, and they do have a quick trigger in some games, but it just depends on the game. I mean, some games have more pressure than others. If you're doing a Golden State and a Cleveland Cavaliers game on Christmas Day, the officials probably going to have a pretty quick whistle. They're not going to tolerate a lot, and they like to control the game that way, where they feel like they can watch the game and more so than have to focus on a player yapping at them throughout the game. So once you give that player that first technical, it kind of calms them down, but it also allows the official to do their job.
One of the things I think officials are doing right now, first off, we've had a number of veteran officials that have left the league in the last couple of years, and not only does that involved when those guys are directly doing it, but also controlling their crews when they're there. So that's one factor. Secondly, I think because there's been such a rise of overall complaining to officials, the officials have gotten a little bit gun-shy. They don't even want to get it started. So as soon as the guy begins, because he's still mad at him from 3 weeks ago, he hits him with the tee and tries to shut him up or throws him out of the game if he doesn't want to hear it. And so I think the players have discussed that there's been a breakdown in the level of trust, and I think this is another example because they just don't trust that the players can have a back and forth, and ultimately at the end of the day, they're the ones who have the whistle.
Right, and I mean, look, they've tried to have some more conversations even off the court, and I think that's productive because you guys had relationships with the referees, and I think a lot of these guys do too, and I think they just want to foster that a little bit.